We had our highlight match of the evening already tonight in terms of skill and notoriety. MVP Miracle against Tempest. We didn't think that match was going to go all the way, but it did go all the way with Miracle in the lead. They eventually lost the series to Tempest in that fifth and final game. And now we're going to the match that I was most excited for. This is the match that I would predict would likely go to 4 or 5 games. Who do you think is going to take this? Because I really just can't pick.
Me too, honestly. I don't think it's the easiest choice here, as you see GG and Mighty, but I think Mighty has an upper hand here. GG has been making some improvements, but overall, to think of all the balance in all the battlegrounds and the draft and how they control the macro and also the team fight, I think Mighty stands a little bit on top. I'm not even quite sure what I'm saying to beat these teams. As GG made some incredible improvements, I think they also have a very good chance of taking the series.
I think GG has the X factor that Mighty is missing, which is incredible drafting. Wu Jay's hero pool is insane, so I think that's what Mighty should be afraid of. I think Mighty actually has the better mechanical players, but GG is a team that will consistently draft Diablo on any map. You don't know. You know, that's something that you have to think about when you play against this team that you wouldn't think about ordinarily just going into a regular best of 5. Wu Jay, I feel like never really gets the full respect that he deserves for his history in Heroes of the Storm. He played since the beginning, the very first tournaments, even before OGN. He played in those Jaehyun, the support, an OGN champion, one of the 5. And just one series away from making a grand finals was Wu Jay. They were defeated by Black in that semis. He was on Team Hero like in the spring season of 2016. But this team has that X factor, and Wu Jay's large hero pool. He's like the Duck Duck in that way. And a lot of times people compared Wu Jay and Duck Duck. A lot of people said, who's the better Zagara? Because Wu Jay was playing a ton of Zagara back then. But I would agree that in terms of minus the drafting, Mighty has the better mechanical players. They have consistently better team fighting, quicker, crisper rotations. So I would agree that this team has a slight edge. They just need to make sure they don't get caught off guard by any drafts or get out-drafted, or just find themselves in a situation where they can't counter the draft of their opponent, something they didn't expect. Sands on camera here. Most improved player this year. And I know I say it every time he plays, but it needs to be noted. Joker, the amazing player on Rave, and Moggy's been around since the beginning. SDE, a great DPS. And Nasong's support pool is, I guess I'd call the Y factor in the series, because I already called the
X factor.
I already said the X factor, so this is the Y factor. But Nasong is an incredible player. He went Lucio in 3 of their last matches, back to back, won all 3 games, and he will play Rhaegar more than anybody else in this tournament. Could still tango with a Malfurion though. I mean, he will play just about anything. So.
That's true.
I bet he could carry the game with Lily if he wanted to.
And
let's hope not, but.
Has not been picked in HGC Korea yet until now. The only support not picked is also Lily. So maybe one day we'll see Lily coming up, maybe possibly with the reworks coming in. If it comes in later on, but for GG, for drafting, if they have the right draft, I think the big question today will be Zeratul. If you let good on that Zeratul, and that's also why they take Diablo to pair up with the VP so much. If Mighty just ends up giving GG a Zeratul, I think that will put them into lots of troubles as we go into map number 1, which is going to be Sky Temple.
Yep, StarCraft maps removed once again. The Sky Temple will be the battleground that we start on. For this pick, it will actually be the pick of Mighty. And I want to check their stats on the map, because we have that actually in our daily stat sheets now that I can access without looking it up. So they're 3-2 on the map, so just slightly a positive record for them. But this is a map that you see Korean teams picking. It's weird to say this, right? But it's a map that Korean teams have picked mostly in series that look to be snowballs, because this map goes quick. You get the momentum going in a series with it. It's usually picked in game number 2 by the MVP teams specifically.
Right.
So surprising to see this as our first map, but Mighty bringing it in here as we see the Zarya ban to start things off.
And on the other side, GG actually has 1-6 on this map, a 14% win rate. That's also because Good has been suffering a little bit with his Dehaka play. He did use a lot of the time, but oftentimes it was against the weaker team. If against the stronger team, his rotations were not at the perfect timing, not really joining the team fight or really having those hesitation to go up and down to have soaking through that EXP. So let's see where that Dehaka comes in, as Dehaka is one of the best Shriners to actually have global here.
Just to point out, the last series, to give a historical perspective, was won 3-2 by Mighty. It went all the way to the 5th game. That 5th game was on Sky Temple. It was the map that Mighty won the series with, as Vala is removed. So this feels like a natural Zeratul lock-in. We could just see the Malfurion for safety, with a Falstad for global. But it seems like Zeratul fits the slot, because you can't, with first pick, you can't deny the Dehaka if they grab Zeratul. So even if Mighty takes the Falstad away, it's a good choice. If you take the Falstad, Mighty will almost 100% take the Zera, even though they're not as good at playing Zeratul. As you can see in stats, it's number 3 for Sans, but he's 1 and 3 on the hero in terms of hero pools. It's going to be Tassadar. They've got a Tassadar comp plan. This could even be Tass Tracer. Wow, really interesting to see the Tass with Vala removed so early. You can see Tassadar later on because he's not going to be prioritized at all anymore by anybody because of the lack of Vala. So that's really odd.
So all the teams, instead of banning Tassadar and going around on banning Vala, they just ban Vala instead. I think that's a straight up answer, where L5 really brought that into the Korean draft especially, and now all the teams are banning, second banning. If they're second pick, they're banning Vala most likely. And even with Tassadar, they have a lot of options to pair up, even Greymane. We saw Illidan with Avatar, all-in comp. We can also have some Millies coming into the meta with the extra shield available for them.
Falstad comes in with a Malfurion for Mighty. They're going to take the best hero in the support pool and the best global hero in terms of initiation. Will GG reveal any of their strategy here? Is it going to be a melee comp? Will it be the Tracer? And one of the things you can do in the second rotation when you first pick Tassadar, when there's no Vala obviously, is to not show anything about what you're going to pair Tassadar with. Make Mighty guess in the ban phase. So I don't think they will pick the Tracer here if that's what they're planning. That seems to really be falling off. We've only seen it on Battlefield of Eternity. We'll get the Dehaka. We've only seen it on Battlefield of Eternity with really poor results. I can't imagine GG would gamble that much on such an important match here that would guarantee them top 4. Greymane, though. Looks like that's actually what the reason is. That they're going into the Tassadar, so going to go into this sort of hybrid melee hero. And this is a composition that absolutely can be Wizened Duelist.
Extra shield will definitely save you for a longer time during team fights. Mighty, thinking of the bans, may even go into the support choke here, as they already took Malfurion. Kerosene seems super way too powerful as a support right now.
There it is. Locked out. Jagan has played more Rhaegar than Karazim this season, though. Zeratul removed. And this game is, or this draft is just kind of wonky based on what GG's put on the table. Like, Mighty just looking for another DPS here, and they'll probably just take the Muradin, you have to imagine, unless they want the ETC, which has been really highly prioritized today. Arthas ETC, wow. So they just really want to shut down the Greymane in terms of slows and CC.
They wanted that extra CC locked in for Greymane to pair up. One Howling Blast connects with the root, connects with the power slide, or other way around. Anyhow is fine as long as you get the damage in, you get the kill onto Greymane. That's all you need for now. But GG still has one more. Let's see if this is all-in Greymane once more.
Well, I think that the Arthas pick really deters the Tyrael choice. So I think Mighty's kind of preempting this, saying like, oh, okay, well, if you want to go all in with the Tyrael, which I think they likely did, you're going to have some trouble. And Brightwing! Wow, very, very unused hero this season. I think this might be your like second or third game all season long. Wow, that is... That's a way to control globals big time. And then there's the Muradin, so it's not really an all-in Greymane comp completely with the Brightwing choice and no Tyrael, but the Zebo comes up here. Good scaling, good team fighting for Mighty. Will the Brightwing healing be enough? Pre-10 specifically, it's going to be very difficult for her to make that work. Now look for some ganks, no doubt, with Dahaka and Greymane with the rotations to polymorph and get a pick on, say, Falstad or to the Zebo, but an unusual draft coming out from GG. Both drafts feel strong, but GG's is just unusual, something we haven't really seen in a long time. But this is the X factor I was talking about with this team that will draft unusual heroes, take unusual priorities. Let's see who's going to take the lead in what should be a very close best of 5 as we jump into Sky Temple for game number 1. Good game in blue. BDG on Greymane. Jaehyun on Brightwing. Good on Dahaka. Hooligan on Muradin. And Ujay on Tassadar.
In red, Mighty. Joker on ETC. Sands on Arthas. Magi on Falstad. Nasang on Malfurion. And SDE on Nazebo.
So, Wolfheart already is really growing in popularity, even when you don't go into Wiz and Duelists. They have double support for the Greymane, but not the strongest supports. There's no burst healing, even when Brightwing will eventually have blink heal. It's not a lot of burst. Good pull here already, though. This is a bad sign.
And a poly.
Sands is very low, but he will get out. It's okay, actually, as long as Tastar lives, which he should. BDG, oh, too low there.
That's the power of all the CCs.
Yeah.
And all the damage. And Tastar actually going Templar's Will. Talent 1. Going all the way, going all in damage instead.
That's what Templar want. That's their will. Templar's will. Tastar's like, and I'm going to leave the Poodle to Zeratul, and yeah, Solendis can have the toys. Ooh, nice base melt there on Hooligan.
Oh. Bolt connects at the end. Does not get the stack as he did not go for the perfect storm at 1.
That's right. Going into third wind instead, which supports his aggressive playstyle. That's why I love the level 1 talents on Muradin, because if you're just going to be hyper aggressive all the time, especially when you don't have a lot of burst healing, you have Brightwing, you just get healed back up anyways. As long as you don't die, you will get back to full. Don't have to Hearth Home. This is a lot of contention here on this first temple. It's going to be won by GG eventually. Jaehyun is actually going to be the solo laner for now. It feels like I have to relearn Brightwing in the pro scene. Is just going to struggle to keep up here in that matchup.
There's a boy. Slide and CC connecting at the perfect time.
The teleport is canceled. It was channeled way too late. Brightwing is going to have to teleport in a second time here. This time the teleport's going to be good, though. A phase shift. Joker gets the stun here on his way back, and it will be a 1-for-1 exchange.
What I'm most worried about for GG, if a Brightwing comes teleporting into a target that's CC'd, I feel like Brightwing will just be a 1+1 for Mighty. I think that's very possible.
Yeah.
Teleporting into a root will also root herself into the root.
There's a, you know, in America, you know, I don't know what they call this in Europe, but in America we call it buy one, get one free. And in Korea we call it 1+1. So it could be a buy one, get one free, the 1+1 deal if she teleports on the wrong target. And Greymane goes into Eyes in the Dark, so it seems to be a completely full Wisdom Duelist build, which we haven't seen. We've seen a lot of Greymane today, but we haven't seen the completion of this build yet. Despite not having Material or solid burst heals, so confident to go down that path, which means that every Greymane death is ruinous for him, assuming he picks it. He hasn't picked it yet, but just kind of telling the story of what will happen next. Big zombie donut on these Siege Giants, and this is going to be cleared up. SDE, no problem. Spiders for Nazeebo, getting closer and closer to Widowmakers, no doubt. Probably about halfway there, and he's going to scale really well into the late game. This is one of his weaker maps for that scaling. It's hard for him to actually have his Voodoo Ritual completely at 150 stacks because this map doesn't usually last that long.
We saw lots of games from GG, even having these globals. They were not using it perfectly. They were not really using having the, even though they had the potentials to lead in EXP, they were not using it, and they have double here with Brightwing and Dehaka, and they are just soaking EXP, and they're not really even getting picked, or they're not trying to get the lead.
Yeah,
this will be a problem when the late game scaling comes, because Mighty has Nazeebo on the other side.
Some weird picks for talents, by the way, as he did not go Wizened Duelist. He went into Human Range at 7, and Murden went Skullcracker, which will give him mini stuns if he continues his auto attacks. It's going to be really helpful here. As you can see, boom, there's the stun on the Joker. No follow-up damage, though. Just a really unusual talent, because usually the cooldown reduction is much better. Even Pierce considered by most to be the better talent. You use it against heavy melee comps. The Arthas is going to be the one that takes the most offense to this. But just really interesting and unusual. Hooligans actually going to get out of here, too. Oop. Yeah, has vision of him.
Gets
a tower shot. Yeah. The Tastar vision. Or not Tastar vision, the scouting drone vision. So this fight, Mighty has a slight lead to start things off.
It's a good dodge.
Yeah, but Hooligan is isolated here. If he misses the Dwarf toss, he is dead. BDG is also super low. And this Greymane comp so far just doesn't feel like it's destined to do well.
Even having all those shields, it's not sustain. Seems like they don't have enough sustain. They're losing in damage also. And sustain of heal especially. The
top push too is doing so much work during all of this. Dehaka was unable to clear it, so it's damaging the keep wall. It's out of ammo right now, so that lane is going to be constantly pushed until they commit a ton of resources for it. While they do that, as you can see in the top lane, committing both Greymane and the Dehaka, Mighty has 10, they have Gust, and they are going to contest for this boss. And they are holding Syndragosa. Could happen, it could come out for a big push to either take it out a keep or end the game.
And
Aren't just lock in.
Actually a peekaboo from Brightwing. Maybe that's a misclick? Not quite sure what exactly happened.
It could be useful even without cloakies.
Just to reveal the sides of the game. Would be helpful.
It's definitely, I mean, it's definitely helpful, but yeah, it's unusual.
We see a lot of unusual talents.
Yeah, I mean, it shouldn't go Emerald Win or anything like that, so we're still safe on that front, but here's the teleport in. Unfortunately, not able to find anything. Sand is on his way out. The Skullcracker is going to be really useful here. Actually, Nasang even dropping down the cleanse. Here comes a very aggressive Falsify and immediately Polymorph. Silence here onto Dehaka, so we couldn't actually burrow. The Mosh is going to catch Murden for just another second, which is enough to get the kill. BDG is caught here. And Mighty is going to turn this game into a massive lead for them. Triple kill, looking for the fourth one. Brightwing has the blink to get away.
The poly was very good on to Falstad. The moment Falstad came in, could knock Gus because he was polyed for a second. But the entire team of GG was already spread apart. Mighty really kept it close together to bring the follow-ups with the CCs. GG really did not have... They need to have the CCs to burst down the target when they were chasing Murden. I think their positioning was a little bit off because they were onto the chase. They didn't even get a pick there.
They used all their heroics too. And they just didn't get the positive exchange they were looking for. But double temples now. They're even on talent tiers for the beginning part of this. They're going to try to trade even with double globals. They should be able to manage at least that, unless they make a huge mistake here. Sands is actually going to look to get the Siege Giant cap so that Falstad can pressure the bot, as GG went for their own top camp. So it looks like they wanted to rotate top, which gives a huge opportunity for Mighty to take this and pressure with both Siege Giant camps in the bot lane.
See, look how GG right now is on the map. They're all spread apart. They're not usually focusing on one thing. They're trying to focus on multiple other things, and they can't really get a pick on one or have a strong hold onto the tempo. It's going to be very tough.
It just turns out that Falstad is the best global in the game, and even when you have two globals, if they can't put the right pressure on, they can't hard engage, you just can't rotate around consistently to deal with this type of pressure. For example, Brightwing can't teleport to a lane to clear it or deal with things unless there's a hero there. Falstad can teleport anywhere he wants with, or not anywhere, but he could, anywhere he is in range to. He could fly to his death if he wants to, if he chooses to. He could fly to a boss, he could fly to the top of the map if he was interested in it, whereas Brightwing cannot do that, and only Dahaka can really. And they're just getting out-rotated and out-pushed. The double camp to the bot was exceptionally good for Mighty, who actually has the 2-fort lead right now. The top fort totally untouched. Any pressure that Mighty gets from now on, or any shots coming out from the temples, will go directly to the keeps and their walls. Oh, this is really aggressive from Hooligan. It's not against the Tychus comp, but he'd go third win, so as long as he doesn't die, again, this is actually fine, but doesn't find what he was looking for. Meanwhile, Good cleans this top camp. The Mighty is just trying to soak for 16 with the entire map currently taken. There's no direct objective. They're trying to, their next objective is level 16.
And this is exactly why Mighty stands on top right now, and Nazeebo is getting that scaling, getting that spider. Quest almost finished by now, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I don't think it was on screen. I'm still not used to that graphic yet, but pretty sure we would have seen it if it was, but I imagine he's got to be really close.
See, Mighty with one global, they're making it worth even more than having double global for GG's side.
Yeah.
They're making the rotations with ETC, sometimes even getting picks off, Falstad Sting on the bottom lane, really even having that wave clear as the power.
It's not even just the, you know, the fact that it's Falstad. It's just Magi is so good on Falstad. He always has been, and he's playing this well. He's not made any mistakes this game. Lone Temple on the bot coming up here. Mighty has the 16 talent advantage. And all GG is trying to do right now, objective-wise, is to get this Siege cap, which can relieve some of that bot pressure for when the Temple spawns in 20 seconds. The second Siege cap can be taken for Mighty at the same time. Good is getting this good, no pun intended, top soak, which is helping even up the EXP. It's a consolation prize for GG right now. So Magi's just going to clear this camp. Again, totally untouched is the top fort. And it's going to be kind of a game of chicken for the Globals to come down here, as Mighty already takes position on this temple. Sands weakens the Guardian.
Weakens the Guardian, and GG. Their talent choices, I think they really want to have this team fight oriented talent, even to start picking Nullification.
Yeah.
To have reduced damage for some time, maybe for Falstad only.
Pretty weird.
Yes, and Hooligan has to find himself out and the gust to actually secure everything.
He is dead. Sands also caught. Will be a 1-for-1. The temple, the end of it, we'll see if Mighty can take that back. Magi coming down here is an interesting choice. Comes down alone. Looking for a big angle. He doesn't have gust.
Almost look dangerous, but without Burden, there's
look for
barely
the
an
Mosh.
ECC.
Pre-cleanse, but the cleanse wears off, and now we're going to see the big combo here, the Twilight Dream as well, and BDG is super low. He goes down, and Jaehyun has to go ahead and blink his way back to good, but Joker gets another power slide. Ujay's already used his Dimensional Shift. With 3 kills here, they may just try to go for the keep. The temple, they can always rotate back to. Gust up in 10. This is going to be an easy free keep. Want to make sure they don't overextend. It's good actually, his adaptation gets them back to full health. A slight overextension here, but they got the keep. If they don't lose anything else, it's well worth it.
So CC's and the polymorphs are connecting at the right time with some damage. They did get a kill on ETC, but Taurus, Arthas, or any other target will be a little bit tougher, it seems like.
Spiders doing work. Spiders are angry.
Spiders, man. In all the Hero League, Nazeebo has been climbing up, and it's very interesting to me to see Nazeebo almost every game in HGC Korea. There's a flight drag that's not connected in time.
He just got like the one feather that fell off the griffin. Just licked it. Yeah, I think that the quest must be done by now, by the way. Like, there's no way it's not with how many spiders he's been able to hit so far. And he has his upgrade for 16, so he has the massive cooldown reduction. By the way, that cooldown reduction is based on the percentage of Nazeebo's original health, and so he basically has it all the time. So, you know, it's like 1572 or something, I think is what it is. And like at this stage in the game, he's well above like 3300. So he just always has cooldown reduction for those spiders that are stacked up so much with the Widowmakers. And it's not to talk about the scaling that Nazeebo has in his health at this stage of the game. And as they approach 20, we'll eventually get that Voodoo Ritual upgrade. So with the lead they have, even with the keep here, Mighty is in pole position to take this game. And GG is going to have that amazing team fight they're looking for that you were talking about. They just have not been able to obtain just yet.
There's a Seasoned Marksman. Completed. And Mighty just looking for a 20. They don't have to hard engage. All they have to do is, as they also have global, they can soak even more as they are painting the map red a little bit more every time.
Really interesting we see give him the axe at 16 for Murden too, because hold that thought, we're going to see a big gank attempt here on the Sands. This is what we didn't see a lot of this actually earlier on. There's the grab they were looking for. Sands tries to self-heal his way out of it, but he does like get picked off. We didn't see a lot of that in the early game, but there's not a ton of CC to really make that giving the axe always good, but I guess they're looking for more damage since Greymane is not totally all in. GG's going to take a boss from this, just from the one pick, and Mighty is just going to try to temple instead with the pressure they have.
I think this is better for Mighty.
Yeah, because they're going to get the top keep, possibly more with the double temple.
Yes.
I mean, like the top keep is already done by Magi. The double temple is probably going to get the bot keep. The boss only gets a keep at best, and Mighty already has 20 to fly back down and deal with it. Look at this. Crowd surfing out.
They don't have to risk it.
Yeah.
They already got a few shots. I think that's enough, and all you have to do is just keep on standing on that tempo as Magi's already on to the last keep standing.
Epic mounts his way out of there.
Oh, slow tongue again.
Sad tongue.
And even if you just leave this boss, I don't think the boss can actually finish the keep in time.
Yeah, don't think so. Look at how much damage SD is about to do. Hardened Shield is used as 20 is reached for GG, but look at how much he does after that.
Oh, even Bolts was used by Nasang to just keep himself safe.
Okay, Vile Infection is complete, by the way. He has that. So just imagine how powerful he is now, how tanky he is. His auto attacks are crazy against heroes. Okay, big power slide in.
But onto a tank, and good. Oh, before the health came back in, he is blown up.
Ujay has Twilight Archon, but he is being completely ignored, and now SD is just going to turn on him. Look at how much damage SD does. Oh my god, Storm Shield to try to save him. Hooligan is super low, and this might actually just be game over here on Sky Temple. Jaehyun's trying to survive, but this is looking to be a wipe. Templar will complete it after he is dead.
So, and that's going to be a full team, almost. And there's the last kill. And just flight it right into the core. Nothing else is needed as there are no more structures left for GG. That's going to be a core for sure. Going.
Hey, he's like, what about your KDA? Boggy. You're pinging him.
Oh, even SDE.
Put him in the donut.
What a nice guy.
Put Magi in the donut. He deserves some donuts after that win. Guts the minions! And clean up the core to take game number 1. This is the map that they closed the series out against GG in their previous series. And this time they want to start the series off clean with that same Sky Temple map. They will have map pick now going into set number 2. The Brightwing pick just did not do anything for GG. If you talk to Swoy, he's been interviewed on this topic many times because he's the best Brightwing in the world. He will tell you the key with Brightwing is that you need to get picks early. You need to go for ganks. They attempted many ganks in the late game. They got the pick onto Sands, for example, but it felt like it was too little too late. Most of the teleports in were used very late. They missed a few, and they were always used defensively. We saw Brightwing trying to be the global solo laner from the start, which meant that the rest of her team was not receiving healing. Yes, they had Tastar, but he could only do so much. I feel like it was not a case for why not to pick Brightwing. I feel like that was just a poor usage overall of Brightwing.
Yeah, of course, and having ATC on the other side, I think Mighty with one global, they had enough. The other 4-man rotations up and down, they were soaking all the EXP. I don't think they missed any EXP from the beginning of the game. And GG even having that double global, we were talking about this even before the game started. GG, whenever they take global, they were not really using 100% of it. So, and the Haka has been soaking some damage, but every time that drag was available for Falstad, it was a tiny bit late every single time, and Falstad just flew away, and they just lose that rotation so big.
So I just want to see a glitch where Dahaka's tongue flies across